When we started telling people we were studying environmental law in China, most of them said, well, that shouldn't take too long. With air pollution getting more television coverage than some of the Olympic events that were going on during our visit, we Americans seem to think that China has no regard for its environment, that the all-powerful central government has eagerly sacrificed its nation's environmental health for American dollars. But our studies had shown that this picture is too simplistic. The Chinese government has struggled to maintain its traditional controls over a changing society unleashed by market forces and rapid economic growth. August 2008, 8 Vermont Law students took a journey to China to see what was really going on. We met with Chinese students and scholars, discussing environmental, social, and cultural issues while traveling around this unique country. We wanted to explore everything from the forests to the cities, to the Three Gorges Dam, to the strange but delicious food. Soon we ventured north to see the world-famous Three Gorges Dam. This project has been an idea for centuries, originally conceived as a method to prevent the catastrophic floods that have traditionally ravaged the Yangtze River. Now it also happens to generate more than 10 times the amount of power as the Hoover Dam.
I feel like it's a little hard to get perspective on it. Yeah. When you're standing this far away, but it is a tremendously huge project. It's amazing to see this place in the most beautiful place we've seen in China by far, as one of the largest construction project I've ever seen, certainly, and maybe that the world has ever seen.
I am impressed by China's culture and development.
And as much as there is to be impressed by, larger questions remain, and in fact are made more complex by a visit to the dam. As you can see but might not have known before, the dam is nestled in a truly stunning mountain range, covered in lush forests and high cliffs. All of this has been tamed by the awesome power of the central government's most ambitious project to date, an example of the power they can wield when they choose to do so. And for their efforts, they will receive enough electricity to power a small city from each generator.
We're going to have 700 megawatts per turbine and 26 turbines, basically for free after the investment is paid off. It's almost hard to blame them. It's a lot of free electricity. It's hard to say it's free though.
These are the great questions being dealt with on the national level. But what we have learned is that Chinese environmental policy and action rest even more with the local governments than with the supposedly all-powerful central government. Although issues like the Three Gorges Dam grab headlines and galvanize environmentalists, problems on the local level are equally harmful to China's long-term environmental health. Even small-scale problems, like inadequate trash collection, when repeated throughout such a large country, contribute to the overall destruction of the environment. Too often, the local government is either unwilling or unable to enforce environmental regulations. Our group visited a legally protected water source for the city of Guangzhou. National regulations demand that all protected drinking water sources be free of construction. As you can see here, there is a new highway being constructed right over the drinking water source, in complete violation of national water quality law. Furthermore, the shores of the water supply are covered by industrial production facilities, with waste accumulating unimpeded and illegally right on the banks of the water. Local officials have done nothing to stop the project. The problem arises from two separate issues. One is a lack of knowledge about environmental laws. The other is a lack of concern or willingness to follow the laws that do exist. Professor Siming Yang of Vermont Law School and Gu Dejin, environmental law professor at Sun Yat-sen University and a dear friend to VLS, discussed this problem as we rowed a boat down the Yangtze River.
Lack of knowledge about environmental law by the judges. Right? So, I mean, if like, where does the judge go? I mean, if you want to learn about, if you don't know what the law should be, where do you go? Where do you look it up? Do you look it up in the book, or
Is there a place that judges can go to read to learn the environmental law?
No.
How do they?
Well, actually, maybe the better question is, what is the methodology for determining what the law means if there's ambiguity, right? Because in the United States, we know what we do, right?
Yeah.
You don't know. First, you look at the statutory language, then you can look at the legislative history, then you can look at case law, and then you look at you investigate what the treatise is, right? But what is the methodology in China? What do judges do?
The methodology in China is when the judge meets the different case, if they feel it's difficult to deal, they will ask the president of the court, how should I do? But the president of the court always is a soldier before. He will pat his own head and think who is stronger. Oh, Professor Yang is stronger. Oh, Professor Yang should be responsible for the pollution. They said that Professor Yang won. Okay. If I'm a judge, I will say, sorry, I know you have been damaged, but you suddenly give the proof. I'm so sorry, but I can't help you, even though I want to do that.
With this lack of knowledge and lack of concern, China's environmental struggles will continue to grab headlines. There is no easy way to force local officials to obey environmental laws, even if the central government truly wanted them to do so at the expense of economic development. But until the central government decides to make environmental protection a priority, China's citizens will continue to exercise their new economic freedom. Development will continue to push the limits of the environment, and a small but determined group of lawyers and scholars will continue to try to force environmental issues into the legal system and the public consciousness.